Day 4 of Patriots training camp in the books. What stood out? I'm Alex Barth. He's Evan Lazar. He's Mike Petraglia. This is the FOXBORO Report powered by betonline.ag. Visit clnsmedia.com/win today and use the promo code CLNS50 for 50% cash back. Evan, what'd you have your eye on today on Sunday?
Well, we talked about Michael Bennett in a different video, so
Right.
I would have led with that under other circumstances. But today I thought Obi Melifonwu really started to make some plays. He had probably the play of the day with an interception midway through practice in the back of the end zone on a pass to Ben Watson. He also covered Steven Anderson pretty tightly down the field, almost 40 yards down the field running with him. He's a talented player. Obviously, we know that he has the physical gifts. I mean, he's 6'4" and is one of the best combine testers at his position since they really started recording combine measurements. His broad jump at the combine would have been an Olympic record. So this guy is really great athlete. But I think the biggest thing with Obi is just that, he could be that fourth safety. And I think that there's kind of a leader in the clubhouse, obviously, with some of the special teams guys. Right. But I think Obi can really make an impact at the safety position, and he played pretty well today. And if he can carve out that role covering tight ends, maybe covering some running backs, playing more in the box, I think that it's a good role for him moving forward, and he's young. That's another thing about this safety position. You have a bunch of guys that are getting up there in age, especially Devin McCourty and Patrick Chung. Obi's only 25. So if they can find a way to keep him on this roster, they have a young safety to work with.
And he's got 3 picks through 4 days of camp. Trags, what stood out for you?
In one of the most competitive position battles on the field, wide receiver, Mo Harris.
Yeah.
Love the
every
fact
day.
every day
Mo. That's what we're going to call him.
He's been making catches, as you pointed out, Evan, every day. But here on Sunday, what impressed me was his ability to adjust to Brady's passes.
Yeah.
There's one pass in particular that stuck out to me in traffic where he had to turn around in midair, and the ball was a little bit behind him, and he reached out with his hands and brought it in quickly and secured the ball. Yeah. And it was just a 10-yard, 15-yard type of pattern down the left seam, but it was that kind of thing. If Brady can expect that a receiver has that kind of ball security and, again, to compete for the ball that we're talking about with rookie N'Keal Harry, if he gets that from Harris, that's just another benefit for a guy like Harris trying to make this roster. And, look, I love the fact that he's also making catches on the sideline. He made 2 of those very cleanly today. Those are kind of plays to me that not only stick out in our eyes, but certainly have to stick out in the eyes of Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick.
Alex and I were at minicamp, and Mo was already making plays in minicamp. And I think just the fact that he's picked up the offense that quickly, and he seems to already be pretty in sync with Tom Brady after just like 7 or 8 practices with him is just pretty remarkable. I don't know if there are not a ton of receivers that have done that in the past where they're just instantly fit into the system like Mo Harris has.
I'm going to go with another receiver who stood out to me. That's Braxton Berrios. He's been great through 4 days. His routes are crisp, and he's making the most of this opportunity without Julian Edelman on the field. He caught a couple of balls downfield from Tom Brady today. He's been working with the kick return and punt return units, and he's a guy I think is really putting himself in a position where it's going to be hard for this team to leave him off the roster. And we've said that before with guys like an Austin Carr, but remember, Berrios was drafted by the team last year. They used a pick on him, and I think he fits their prototype a little bit more than some of these previous standout training camp slot wide receivers. So I've been really impressed with what Berrios has done so far. Let's see if he can keep it going into the first preseason game. We also got a little celebrity surprise here today at
NBA Day.
It was NBA Day. So Brad Stevens, Jason Tatum, and Nick Nurse.
I don't know how I feel about Nick Nurse. I mean, if I'm Brad Stevens and I see Nick Nurse, I'm like, Bill, what are you doing?
So what was interesting to me about that is when Bill took time out, let's say it was about 45, 50 minutes into training camp, into practice here on Sunday, Belichick came over to the sideline in between the practice fields and said hi to Jason Tatum, hi to Brad Stevens, but Nick Nurse was
he's not part of the club. He's out of the club.
No. Exactly right. He's not part of the club. He was down the field just minding his own P's and Q's. He had good quality time with Brad Stevens at the beginning of practice, but when Bill Belichick came over, it was all about New England.
Well, to be fair, does Nick Nurse have a training camp to go to? I mean, he could go to the Bills, I guess, but I mean, I was
the Alouettes, the Argonauts are already in full season.
They're in their season, that's right. So he missed that. He was going on a title run while they were going. So.
I'm just saying, if I'm Brad Stevens, I'm a little pissed off that Nick Nurse is here. Bill Belichick's giving Nick Nurse trade secrets. Right. It's like one of your biggest contenders in the Eastern Conference.
I will say, though, it is just kind of cool to see because Jason Tatum at one point was chatting with N'Keal Harry, and we talk about this run Boston sports has been all right the last 20 years, and if this is going to keep going, those two guys are going to be a huge part of it. So to have a
Yeah.
moment like that today was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was
Well,
cool to see.
and I'm sure that N'Keal Harry and Jason Tatum can trade secrets on how to go up and compete for the ball, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And how to be stars in this market, how to
Right.
be the first round pick, the high pick, that, obviously Tatum going 3 overall, or it's just, that's type of pressure is unique to Jason Tatum and N'Keal
Right.
Harry,
All right, there you go. A little basketball talk from the football guys. For complete Day 4 Patriots training camp coverage, make sure you check us out online at clnsmedia.com and on Twitter at PatriotsCLNS. From the practice fields behind Gillette Stadium, he's Mike Ricciai, he's Evan Lazar, I'm Alex Barth. Thanks for watching.